Okay, so I've been thinking of this for a little while. The channel's name's Games, Comments and Crafts. I do a little bit of crafting, but not a lot, and I'd like to do some more. So I thought, let's build a Gundam. So this is from Hobbycraft, 10 quid, basic entry stuff. As far as I know, it doesn't need anything massive. According to this, it doesn't need glue, doesn't need snips and all this kind of stuff as well. My knowledge of Gundam is fairly limited. I've seen the robots and the anime and Gundam Wing and Gundam Z, Gundam Zeta W, whatever it was. There's a lot of Gundam series. I can't, and I've watched the first two original Gundam 78 movies, I think now. And giant robots in general are fantastic. I mean, I'm a huge Transformers fan from the original G1 stuff. Anything mecha, love Mechton RPG and all that kind of stuff. So, and I've got some Gundam Bandai toys from about 20 years ago when they were kind of readily available. Got a few of those. So, but I never actually built a Gundam kit. So I thought, let's try building one. So this is the 10 quid. This is a basic entry level one, 144 scale. They go up to, I think there's like 13, 14 quid ones. There's like 70 quid ones and higher, and I think they're slightly bigger scale, 100 rather than 114 and 144. Sorry. No paint required, so all of the pieces are in apparently the colour need to be. So we'll just have a quick look inside, see what we've got. So we have lots of pieces and lots of other pieces and some instructions which basically tell you what the parts are, which is really nice. Thank God for that. I'm assuming these are in English. They are. Oh, and they're in multiple languages, even better. So yeah, these remind me. So back in the day, way back in the day, when Transformers G1 came out and Jetfire was a thing, and Jetfire was really a Robotech walker. What they were called? I remember you could buy model kits of the little jet walkers, roughly about this scale, and I had a couple of those. And this kind of reminds me of that, kind of snapped together, not too difficult. But yeah, so I thought what we'd do is we'll get all these pieces out, we'll start snapping them together and see what we can get. And hopefully by the time we've got finished this video or another video, it depends. I don't know what it's going to take me. Is it going to take me half an hour? Is it going to take me an hour? I don't know. So we'll cut some videos together for this, and hopefully by the end of the endeavour, we will have our first Gundam model kit completed. So yeah, let's go on with that then. Okay, so I've had a quick look through the instructions. It seems to be fairly straightforward. It says on here you don't need paint or glue, or you don't need snips, but I couldn't resist getting this little set out. Oh, actually open this thing up first of all. Get this little set out here. I believe this came with one of the first issues of a Lord of the Rings miniature game, Artworks, which had the files and I think had 2 more files and a knife and these little snips. Bargain. Okay, so according to this, we've got head pieces, body pieces, arm pieces, waist pieces, leg pieces, and weapon pieces. We are going to start with the head, I believe. Going through here. Yeah, okay. And that tells me where I should be. So that should be A2, B2, B1, A1. Okay, right. So, first things first. Why the entire instructions aren't in colour? That's a bit odd, because the back's in colour. And it would, if the entire thing was in colour, that would make it much easier to actually decide what we actually need from each section. I know these are colour coded in the way that they are only one piece of plastic, so they can't be anything different. So we hope it's fairly straightforward. But I suppose we will discover that when we get to it. So mostly going to be white, I think, for the head and the body, because they are white sections. Oh. And let's try not to lose any pieces as we snap them off the sprue. That'd be nice. Okay. So we've got B1, B2, B3, B4. A4, A3, and A1, A2. Now that's quite amazing. They can print these sprues in multiple colour plastic on the same sprue. That's pretty nice. A217 and B211. A217. So that would be A217 would be uh, A217, A217, 20. Am I being stupid? A217. It's that section there. Okay. Now, do these need filing, or is that snapped off pretty well? Actually, that's snapped off pretty well. Okay, A217, B211, B211. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, which way up does this go? Sliding downwards. Okay, that then. Yep, that looks good to me. A11. A11, that's tiny. And A216. A216. Okay, and then does this go? These, okay. Uh, it's a puzzle. Okay, I think that's correct. And it goes that way round to the back. That seems to be good. And then that goes into that section like that into there. Okay. And we've got B11, B11, yeah. Oh, this one's a little bit more difficult to come off the sprue. Come on, I know you want to. So I'm worried, I know it says no snips needed, but I'm really worried about it snapping. Because that would suck. Right, that clips onto that. Slowly remove each part. A12. A12. That's a little doodaddy things on his front of his head. I'm sure it goes in there. Is that correct? That would appear to be correct. As far as it goes. Okay, that would seem to be okay. B12, B12, which must be that bit, yeah. Okay. Forwards facing to there, yeah. Okay, and then A215. A215. Jeez, okay, that is tiny. See, I mean, yeah, it's quite cool because if they've managed to make it this easy, you can actually snap pieces off as you need it. It's going to make the more complicated Gundam stuff be really, really easy to do. Um, I feel like I'm missing something there. Where's the actual thing itself? No, looks right. That just doesn't seem to sit in. Is that got to be lifted up? Maybe I've not got that up high enough. I'm worried about it's going to ping off and disappear off into the nether and we're never going to see it. There we go. That's perfect. There you go. It sits right at the back now. Okay, that is really difficult to see. We have oh, that was too blurry. Might just be my eyes. My eyes are blurry all the time. We have a Gundam head. Okay, so we have a head done. Let's put that somewhere reasonably safe. Okay, so we need A212 and A13. A212, which should be that piece there, unless I'm mistaken. That's 14, 13, 12. Come on, off you come. Dear. I can actually see what I'm doing, that would be really nice. But I can't. Come on, off you come. Off the little sprue. Again, I'm really worried about snapping it. I know they do seem to be pretty resilient, but I think I'm going to have to take a little knife to this because I just don't trust it. It's definitely 12, isn't it? Yeah. So, where's my little knife? It's there. Just to snip this section. There we go. And hopefully that means the other one should pour off pretty nicely. Yeah, okay. That definitely made a difference. Right, okay. A13, which would be this one, I believe. No, A13, which is this bit here. No, it's A3. A13. A13. Another piece of grey. And again, I'm worried about this coming off, so we'll cut the sprue instead. This bit, isn't it? There we go. So yeah, so it just needs a little bit of a push just to make sure it goes through like you want it to do. Okay, so that should go into that section that goes underneath, I believe. That should sit in there. Yep. Okay. We've got a little bit of a body there. A24, which I believe should be that bit there, unless I'm mistaken. A24. A24? A214. Come on. Dear, oh dear. See, I think you're slightly fibbing about not needing a knife. But I'd rather not take the risk. A little bit of flash there. And then that goes on the back. Correct. Yep. Back So yes, we've got a little bit of flash and a little bit of sprue. So we might look at that afterwards and see what it's like. A218 and B212. A218, B212, B212. Yeah, that's what I thought it would be. And A218 should be a black. A218, A218, A218. So that's that way round, and that should push into there somehow. Is that like that? That looks right to me. It's slightly angled. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so this is quite weird because it's almost like Lego. You know, it's more even more like Lego than model making. Because you're effectively just freeing up the space and pop them into where they need to go. A220, A220, A220 goes into that. Sits goes into there. Come on, we've got the right. We've got it right around. It can't go any other way, can it? And then upwards apparently. So in flat and then up. That felt right. And then up. There we go. Oh yeah, so we've got a little bit of movement in that. Okay. That's fair. The completed body then goes into that. I mean, they got a nice satisfactory snap when you actually do get them into the location they're supposed to be in. Not quite sure why. Ah, there you go. It's stiff. I was saying not quite sure why that's not moving, but it is actually just a bit stiff. Should it be a bit further back? Or is that as far as it goes? I think that's as far as it goes. Okay, we'll look at that later. It does say it's touches, but that doesn't touch. Well, it's on, so we'll keep it as it is for now. Okay, A14. A14, which is that section piece there. A little bit of a slice just to get it through. There we go. That goes on that side. Quite as possible. Yeah, that seems to be good. Yeah, I'm still not convinced that is correct. There seems to be a gap there. Now is that because of a little bit of flash? It might be. Can I get it out again is the question. Right, let's have a look, see if we can actually move that out of the way. Okay, you probably can't even see what I'm doing. I just realised you can't probably see what I'm doing. A little bit of... Or just because that's off centre. I can't tell now. That looks alright. Okay. And then we've got A18, A219, A28. So A18. A18. That's going to need a snip. This is it's where it's attached to 3 points. 3 points just makes it a little bit too secure. Right. A28. And which way up are we? We are that way up into there. What was that? Was that A18 or A28? That was A28. So let's make sure we get it on the right side. I think they're double-sided anyway. Yeah, they are. Okay. Yep, that feels good. That seems to go in pretty nicely, and it seems to move. So that must be A18, which it is. Oop. Oh, okay, and that should hopefully go in the same way. Yes. Okay, that snapped in quite nicely as well. Okay. And then A219. A219. A219, A219, A219. Okay, and I would suggest that that is that little knobbly bit is at the front, and that should sit in there like that. And it does. So yeah, these are, I can't believe how precise these are put together to actually snap in and actually kind of rotate as well. It's different to, snap in there and not have to move. But the idea they snap together and actually rotate is quite astounding. Okay, that's all of the crap off of that. Okay, and then we're onto arms next. Okay, so we've got a body, we've got a head. Okay, which we won't put on yet because I'm not convinced that it needs to do. So legs is next, and then we've got arms is next. Then we've got arms and legs, and then we've got the waist and a few other bits and all. Okay, so that's not too bad. So that's where we are at the moment. Right. Okay, arms. So A7. Oh, B17 and B17. B17, A17, B17. Okay, so if we do the B1s first of all, that would make more sense. So B17, there we go, snippy snippy. B17, A111, A111, that'd be 10, 11. Yep. A110, which is that part there. On. There we go. And B1, A19. I used to make obviously models back when I was a kid, the old Airfix stuff and a lot of other stuff and some Games Workshop models and that kind of stuff as well. So I'm kind of used to making models, but I don't know if they've improved the plastics or they're much more resilient or whatever they were. I don't really know. So it's a possibility. B16. I mean, these are obviously Bandai Gundam models. If you trust anybody to do anything good, it would be for hobby stuff. It'd be the Japanese because they actually seem to give a crap. B16 and B15. B15. Okay. Right, so let's see if we can figure out how to put all these bits together. Okay, so we've got B1. Okay, goes in there. Okay, the interior plate goes on next, which I think is like that. Yep. Then we've got an A. Hold on. No, that's not. Oh no, that's. Does it clip on like that? Let's clip on like that. Am I being stupid? Nope. Okay, yeah. And then that goes through the top of that on the side with the little angle to it. That would seem to be right. And then that goes on the front. How does that go? Have I put that the wrong way around? I think I put that the wrong way around. Yes. And then that must go there. No. Okay, now I can't figure out what's going on. Oh, now you can't even see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. It should go in there and actually clip around where we just put the other piece into the arm itself. There you go. So it actually couples that. So that's cool. That's a little sift unit of art. That's excellent. Okay, so that's one arm done. Now we've got to do the same again. So we are looking at B27, which came off better. B26. A210. A210, A211, and A29. Yeah, A210, A211, and A29. Okay. Right, see if we can get this one put together properly. Okay, so that goes in there. That should go into there like that. Put the front on the arm, the lower arm. That's right. That goes on the back. That goes on there. That goes on there. Oh, and then we've got one more piece with a little cuff there, I think. I believe is that one A25, B25, yeah. Which goes. Should go over that. Why is it not going over that? Why are you not working? Are you going around? Ah, okay, there you go. So they've even built it so you can't even put it on backwards. They've even got that built into the actual system itself. Okay, so that's those. Right. So B13, B23. B13. That's A. That's A. That's A. B13. B13. Okay, and A13. Alright, so let's make sure we put these on the right side. So that's B23. Okay, so that's B23. Okay, so that should be facing inwards, arm. Now the arms, are the arms the same on both sides? I think they are. So that should push into there, which it does. And then that should push into there, which it does. That should push into there, which it doesn't at the moment. So why are you being awkward? Why? There we go. And that goes on to there. We have that done there. And then we have B14, A17. B14, back of the hand. And A17. A17. I quite like the way also that they've done this. They've divvied up left and right into A1 and B1. So you can kind of make if you've lost don't know where you were and you can't figure out where you were, if you look on, you're on a B, it's on one side or not the other side. Okay, so that should somehow click onto there. That's the front, that's the back. Does it go into that little tappy thing there? It does. Okay, and that is the yep, that's the right hand. There we go. That is done. And then we've got the left hand, which has been awkward. Come on out. Give that a little sit when we. Okay. And then we need the little plate, which was B213. B213. Okay. And so that goes in there. That pushes into the back of that. I've got a bit of flash on that, so let's try and trim that off. So it doesn't have to be precise, but I know these. This is entry level. Just click together. So again, if you're a starting modeler or whatever, or someone that wants to be a modeler, this to me seems to be a very good way of starting. And obviously we're going to get more complicated as we go along. There's 144. This is 144 scale. There's 100 scale, which is obviously slightly bigger, and I think they're like up to like 70 quid and beyond. But for the sake of a tenner, I would say that this has been pretty straightforward. So kind of cool. B18. B18. Right, let's not make sure we don't break the actual part we don't need to break. So this is the waist section. B18. A322. A3? We're actually into the A3s now, are we? A3, A326, A324, A323, A322, that must be that part, yeah. Okay, so this is going to need a little bit of snipping. It's on 4 sprue points, just to make sure we get it off without snapping it. Okay. So that goes on the front of that, which I believe is that way around. So it should go into there. Right, let's make sure we don't press it on the bits where it could possibly snap. I think it just sits on the front for now. Maybe. Let's make sure we don't. Really worried about snapping that off. Okay, let's worry about that for the minute, because I think if we put the other piece over it, it'll probably encase it anyway. Right, B110. B110. B110, which, oh, hello. Should be that piece there, yeah. So that goes on the back. Into some points. Okay, if we go straight, that actually might go in a bit better. There we go. I'm still worried about that, so I'm going to take that off while I mess with this bit. That seems to be pretty flush. B110. And then B214 should go on the front. And hopefully that'll settle in this little section here, that should be B214, which it is. Yeah, Mum, off you come. There we go. So that should sit over that, and then we've got a little piece to put on top of that as well, but we'll look at that in a minute. So that should press over the top of that, which it does, and that makes that much more secure, and I don't think, I'd say I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to snap that in. And then A213, 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 oh, it's blue. I was expecting it to be red. Goes on the front of that into that little section there. So I suppose if you wanted to, you could obviously glue this as you went along to, if you wanted to, if you were worried it was going to fall apart and become less secure. But it seems to be pretty good in that regard. Okay, so that's those two sections there. Then we got legs. So legs, we have A324, which I think is that part. Yep. Let's give that a little snip. Okay. The irony, of course, I'm using a chopping board or cutting board and doing it in the air above, which is not lost on me. Okay. B322. B322. Got to be one of these pieces, surely. Nope. Come on, don't be a get off. Yes, come away. B322. B321, B322. Oh, there's a B422, isn't it? B322. Make sure we get the right sections just in case there is a difference. Okay, so that goes like that. And that goes on the back. Somehow. Lower down. Other way round. Other way around. Okay, we have to look at this one. Okay, there's me trying to get it to go in the back. It actually goes on the side. So it doesn't anywhere near that one. So that would be B421. B421? Oh, I've just done that. B322. Yeah, B322. B321. Okay. So they are the same, I believe. And that clips on the other side. So that goes that way around. Correct. That looks good to me. Yep, that seems to be right. And then B317. I'm not going to say I'm the fastest at making this, but so I'm a little bit worried about snapping stuff, so I'm taking my time. A323 must be this piece over here. A323. So that goes that way around. We get the white section on that way upside down, which should sit in there nicely. It's got to go that way around, isn't it? Somehow. That goes on the back of. There we go. I do really like how precise this is. And then that goes on to the front of there, like so. And we have a leg. Okay, now I've got to make sure that these go on the right way around, although they do seem to be symmetrical, so maybe that doesn't matter. But we'll look at that one. Okay, so we should be able to speed this up a little bit. Ow! Stabbed myself with a bit of Gundam. Okay, I'd rather do that than cut myself with a blade, I suppose. So that's not so bad. All right, so that's those pieces. That's those, and then we've got the front end of this piece as well. Come on. There we go. So 2 leg pieces. Our main leg piece. So I've been looking into these, and I know I feel a bit spruey. It is sprue. I cut off one piece of sprue. There we go. Discovered that, like definitely not in Japan, if not anywhere else, you can buy like Gundam marker pens. to make sure you get all of the lines in all of the Gundam and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, wow, this is a crazy thing where they've actually, they've got an entire business built around just making Gundam model kits. But just like the accessories as well, which I think is really cool. I know we've got like Airfix over as well, but I don't think I don't know if we've got Airfix pens. I mean, I think probably the nearest closest thing is probably Games Workshop or Warhammer as it is now, I suppose. Where you could go there and buy your paints and stuff all at the same time, and you go home and you've got everything you really need. So a little bit of flash there. We'll try and get rid of that if we can. And then if there's one on that one, there might be one on this one. So let's have a quick look. That's not too bad. Okay, and then that sits on the front of that. And to the back of that. Right, so they to me look like they are identical. I don't think there's any left or right on those. Okay, so B320, B316, B320. B316. Okay, and they go together, apparently. It's its own little section. Oh, somehow. And A326. A325, A326. Oh, that's 3 points, okay. Yeah, and I think I thought so. I de-screwed that in the wrong section. Okay, so A326, that goes into the bottom of that. Like so. And then we pick a leg, I suppose, and that goes into the top of the leg. Like so. And then tightly fit the parts as far as they will go. A327. That's that part there. That goes in the back of the... Where does that go? Oh, between the two pieces, really? Yeah, oh yeah, no, that fits, yeah. Okay. Right, and then we got a foot, which is going to be B319, B319, and A430. Okay, they're both the same, so we'll take both of those off. A430. Oh, God. Okay. Other foot. 2 feet, and then we just got to do the upper leg to the other section. Okay, so B420. Yep, that's what I thought. Well, B420 and B416. Oh, sorry. B416. Right, a little bit of flash. Okay. A426. Gives us our kneecappy thingy. Make sure we get it right around. Okay, and then it goes into the top of that. Oop. In. Yeah, that seems to be clicked in. And then we got the back of the knee thingy, which is A427. Yep. Which fits there. Oh, now I've lost it. There it is. It's just amazing how they slide so nicely in. It's astounding. I mean, I suppose nowadays, let's say nowadays, you've got 3D printers and all this kind of stuff, and I don't know if it's a 3D printer that they are, because obviously they're too smooth. They're obviously done the traditional way, but the precision on them obviously is going to be a lot more than they used to be back in the day. So that kind of makes some kind of sense. Right, so A325. A325. We'll pick a leg. Make sure we get the right around. So, I'll assume that would face outwards. Oh, and a bit of sprue. Yeah, because that's going to be our interior. So that's going to be our outside of our leg. A328. So yeah, so it looks like a lot of this stuff is kind of the sprue's obviously built to fail. So you're going to probably bring more sprue with it. If you snap it off at the sprue, rather than bringing none of the actual pieces with it, which is quite good. And B318. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'll make sure to try and get this right as well. So that goes. How does that go? Like that into there, and then across. Yep. Okay. That seems to be right. And then that goes into the back of the foot, which I don't think is a left foot or right foot. I think they're actually just parallel. So that goes into the back of the foot. Yep. And that goes to the bottom of the leg. There we go. That is our left or right leg, as it were. Right, so other leg round. We've got A425. Goes at the top. Oh, more sprue. Okay, and then A429. A429. And this section here. Come on, there you come. There we go. Right, make sure we get this right around. You really make a mistake, because I think the little bobbly bits, they only go in it one way. So there's no other way they can go in. You're actually going to move. Just to make sure you actually move. Yeah, you move. Not very well though, so why don't you move? So there we go, that's better. Okay, and then that goes in the back of the foot. And then that goes to the base of the leg. Oop, actually get it in there. Okay. There we go, that's better. Right. So we've got two legs, we've got a body. Right, so that should be everything. So, legs onto the hips. Make sure we get the hips right around. That's the front end there. actually on the hips rather than the arms. That would make more sense. So legs onto the hips, leg onto the hip. Okay, those a little bit off centre for some reason. Don't quite know why. Okay, and then we've got the plates to put on the side. And A3. Okay, B. Oh, okay, I've got a piece there. What the hell's that? Go onto the plates like that. It goes on like that. Okay. Oh, we've got to put the head on. And we actually got around to the head. So head and body clicked into place. Body into hip area. Oh, hello. There we go. That didn't want to go in for a second. I'm quite sure why we're not quite. I think it must be the feet. Seems to be a little bit too springy somewhere. Okay. Compatible with. Okay, that's the flight thingy. Right. What the hell are these pieces here? I've got two pieces missing here, or two extra pieces. Am I being stupid? B3 and B4 9. Ah, on the arm, on the shoulders. There we go. Right. So I missed those bits completely. B1 9. And to say, surely there's not that many spare pieces. That'd be insane. B1 9 and yep, yep. A16, A16 and A15. Okay, A15, A16 go together. And then that's that angled, that slides into there. That way around. Yeah. Okay, and then that gives us our shoulder mounts. Oh. We go behind the arm or in front of the arm. There we go. And the other one. Got a yellow piece there as well. What the hell's that for? Oh, that's from the shield, I think. Oh, off you come. Oh, okay. Now we're breaking the sprues up. Okay, so that sprue's empty and that sprue's empty. We need these two pieces from here. Yeah. Okay, put them together. What we did last time. Get them to fit together. It's easier than last time. Okay, and then it slides on diagonal down and angled downwards. Like that, which is perfect. and then clicks onto the top of the shoulder. On, it feels clicked on. Yep. Do. So we've nearly come to our last pieces. So we've got a gun in 2 pieces, which is a 3 or 3 pieces, technically speaking. Oh, okay, what is that? Oh, that's the thing. And then we've got a tiny piece here, which goes on the front of that. Okay. Right, let's try to lose this piece in. Okay, gun. Gun and gun go together. And then that goes on the front of the little naughty bit. Surely it goes on more than that. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll get rid of these little flashy bits as well. Now, my pickiness factor would say, yeah, it has to be that way around, which it is. Oh, no, that's not straight. That's going to annoy me if it's not straight. Okay. I'm going to put this straight. Okay, got it straight. You probably can't seem to see it. It's so tiny wee. But it actually went on better when it was straight. So that probably, maybe there's something inside it that actually needs it to go. There was a bit of flash on that hand. We'll try and get rid of that as well. There we go. Gun in hand. Lovely. And then the shield should be the last remaining pieces we've got. White shield. That's the last piece of them sprues, yep. Yellow shield piece. Goes in the back of there. Obviously can't, it looks like it's going to wiggle, so I think it must need the red piece to keep it secure. Red shield piece. And this definitely feels a little bit flexible, so we'll make sure we don't break that, and then that should sit over the top like that, and hopefully click into place. Are you going to click into place? I might just be stupid, and there's a white piece on the front as well. So why are you not clicking into place? Probably because you're a bit floaty. Oh, hold on, have I stupid and got it the wrong way around? I think I might be stupid. Yes, I am. I had it on the back. That's much better. Okay. Oh, and must have a piece missing. So B324. Yeah. Yep, B324. Last piece on the sprue, which I missed last time. Comes off. Goes onto the shield. It can only go one way as well. And then we've got the bracket A333. A333, the bracket for the shield. And that should go into the shield itself, which it does. And it should go on the back of the arm of the left arm. Okay, that's good. So it's interesting. So yeah, so it looks like they've got these little bits here are actually on both arms. Oh, actually, look what I'm doing. That might actually help as well. So if you have made the arm on the opposite side, it doesn't matter because they've both got the little holes in. Are you going to go in the little? There we go. Okay. Right, so that is our fine little Gundam. I will. Oh, hello. That didn't feel. I thought that was wrong. We will put that into some poses for some pictures, and I'll take a couple of pictures into the video. But no, what's that? That has got to be just over an hour, maybe a little bit longer, to create an entire Gundam. That's pretty good for a kind of a basic model kit. If you stuck with this all the way through, thank you very much. I very much appreciate the watching the view. But yeah, we'll put some videos into this and we'll go for it. If this is something you're interested in, let me know. I'll be more than happy to probably make some more Gundams or similar. Probably in little short, maybe short videos, because I didn't quite know this long this was going to take. But yeah, it seems to be true to form. You really don't need snips as such, but they do help. Either a knife or that way, and obviously taking stuff off the flash off the edge of it does help as well. The actual model kit itself fits together really nicely. You actually feel that the pieces are intended to go, together, and there's no kind of massive gaps in it, and all the bits kind of slide in nice thing, and you can get those little kind of ball joints working up as well. And the actual scale of it is really, really cool. Yeah, and I think this is really, really nice. So yeah, all in all, more than happy with my purchase of Gundams. And let's say if you're interested in doing anything more with this, then let me know, and I will purchase some other ones. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so right, I think that's enough rambling for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another video very, very soon. Bye bye.